Hi, welcome to Partido College. I'm RJ Holman and I will be your instructor in physical education too. Today, we're going to talk about the overview of games and sports, wherein we're going to define games and sports, we're going to trace the historical development of games and sports, and know its importance in our lives. Have you ever wondered if there is any difference between a game and a sport? When we will use the term game and when we will use the term sport? Most of us were confused if there was even a difference between games and sports. Sometimes, we use it interchangeably at some point. This lesson aims to clear up the confusion between what a game and a sport is. Now, let's define what games and sports are. Games is any mental or physical activity with rules that is done for fun, such as physical activities like basketball and volleyball, board games like chess and Scrabble, card games, electronic games, and video games. Sports, on the other hand, are specific physical activities one can compete. It refers to athletic events or activities which involves physical exertion and participation.
The following are the important dates to be remembered in the history of the development of games and sports. In 3500 BC, Senet, a 30-square board game, was the earliest known example of a board game. In 3000 BC, the game of 20 squares, a set of pawns played in a rich decorated board, was developed in Ur. In 2600 BC, the earliest depiction of wrestling was discovered. In 2400 BC, ancient Egyptians starts playing javelin throw and high jump. In 776 BC, the first Olympic Games was held in Olympia, Greece. In 30 CE, Chaturanga, the predecessor of chess, possibly designed in India. In 900 AD, dominoes were developed in China. During the 15th century, modern chess rules began taking shape in Spain and Italy. In the 18th century, baseball and cricket were invented. In the 19th century, basketball and volleyball were invented. And in 1938, Scrabble was initially designed.
Participating in different game and sports events is important because games and sports develops our body. It provides opportunities where a person can develop physically and mentally. Also, games and sports develop social skills. Participating in games and sports events requires socialization, thus developing our social skills like cooperation and teamwork. And also, game and sports provide room for enjoyment. Game and sport events gives fun for both the players and the spectators.
Let's proceed to your second activity. Part 1. Tell the significant events that transpires on the following dates. Part 2. Essay. What is the difference between games and sports? Explain in your own words in 5 to 7 sentences. Let's apply what you have learned. The current pandemic shows major changes in the conduct of different sports events worldwide. With that in mind, what do you think would happen to the games and sports during and after this pandemic? Express your answer in 250 to 300 words and write it on a short size bond paper.